All right. Shall
Los Angeles, California. We're at the Mad Scientist Party Hour.
Oh, what is up there, friend-a-roonies? Welcome back to another episode of Mad Scientist Party Hour. My name is Kevin Kraft, joined once again by a man, 1 second, whose pants and underwear are on permanent vacation, but his hand is putting his boner to work overtime. A man who likes to take number threes on his number twos, Geoff Clark.
What's up?
And transmitting to us
scary accurate
from the Seine, the bearded booger-eating floater known as Shuddy Boy.
Yo, prep.
All right. Back once again.
Can we start calling like jerk off breaks number threes?
I mean, I think I've been doing that since like sophomore year.
Oh wow! I wish I heard that before.
But yeah, so not to jinx ourselves right out of the gate, but I would like to apologize to the Puminati for the audio quality of last week's episode. I mean, obviously, now in retrospect, I know what happened with the Zoom. I ran an internet speed test after we did that episode, and my up and down did not break single digits. Like, the internet speed test was so slow, that little message that pops up when it's done was like, your internet is slow. You might be able to open a web page, but you probably won't be able to stream any video. And I was like, oh my God. Okay, so that is why the Zoom last week on my end froze up like every 10 minutes. And then there was some new like electrical hum going on. Like a lot of times, if you're a long time MSPH listener, we've been plagued by this weird like static thing that will just pop up out of nowhere. And it usually builds to a crescendo and makes a very sharp pop noise and then goes away. And then it'll probably come back a couple minutes later. But this time there was just like a steady, low electrical hum. And again, if this was something that we heard during the show, it would be, addressed and fixed. But we never hear any of this shit until I load this up into the editing software. And I'm like, motherfuck. What the hell is all that noise? But I called in the big guns. I called the big guns in. I got Rob Sprance, our homie from the whole podcast, who is we lovingly refer to as the Godfather, because without Rob Sprance, there is no MSPH. And boy, that guy has the fucking patience of a Buddhist monk dealing with me. He hopped on the phone with me. Like, in between, like, trips of moving all my stuff, he got on the phone with me, and we did, like, some intense troubleshooting. He sent me a new piece of equipment that has been out of production for years now, like, just in case that thing was the source of all the weird feedback and static noises. So he mailed me one of those. I switched that out. I bought a few new pieces of equipment, switched all that out, and it's been a busy-ass week, but in between dealing with moving stuff, I have done a lot of troubleshooting and let the recorder go for a few hours, and then would load that file in, and again, not trying to put my own foot in my ass right here as we just got out of the intro, but all my test runs worked. And look,
thank God.
You can hear Geoff perfectly clear. He's not turning into Robot Geoff. Shuddy is not turning into Robot Shuddy yet. Did 15-minute Easter egg with no issues.
Sure, the Puminati is appreciative of you stepping up our technology, improving our technology, especially on your end.
Well,
sounds good so far.
It It ruins.
Comes at a cost, huh?
Well, no, I mean, every time we put an episode out and there's fucking audio issues on it, it like sends me into a spiral. Like it fucks up my whole week. So I was really bummed out. And then I talked to my homie Andrew that I went to Bing Boing school with, and he offered a whole bunch of assistance because he knows, like, our whole lives he's known computers inside and out like crazy. Like, he's the one, I've told this story in the past, but he pulled off one of the funniest pranks I've ever seen in my life by when we were in high school. He like hacked this other, we had newspaper class together, and he got on the network and hacked like this kid a few computers over from us and like disabled all the vowels on his keyboard. And then when he called the teacher over to help with him because he couldn't figure out what was happening, he reversed his right and left mouse buttons and opened up hardcore.com and sent him to a porno site. So as the teacher is walking over, because he just got called over there, all this porn pops up, and he's trying to click it, and he can't because the mouse buttons are reversed. So yeah, I have that guy on my side. So luckily, I have people in my life that are infinitely smarter than me, and were more than generous with their time to help out. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But I also know a lot of people have been hitting me up and being like, your fucking setup is so goddamn complicated. Why don't you get rid of that mangled rat's nest of all this extra hardware and wires and equipment? And that is a possibility. I was talking to Sprance about getting set up on like Stream Cloud, Stream something. It's basically like an
Streamlabs.
I don't think it's Streamlabs, but it is some similar OBS type thing. And believe me, I've thought about that, but there is a massive trade-off. And I do not think the Puminati is going to go for what we would have to sacrifice.
If we have to sacrifice Geoff, I'm okay with it.
You're just gonna cut 1/3 of the host or 1/3 of the host.
We don't have to lose Geoff.
I mean, you have enough buttons for me. You can make it work for.
We have to lose the buttons.
All of them.
Everything. The iPad would not be factored in. Because the iPad is one of the things that makes this whole menagerie of shit a requirement. So we could go to an OBS type software, but we're doing a little bit of research ahead of time because apparently they do have a thing that lets you upload a few clips. So like we could have like the theme song on a button. I just don't know how extensive it is. Like the iPad, I can just keep making new pages and keep loading more and more and more and more buttons on it. But I don't know if those like OBS type software services allow for, all the buttons that we have.
Couldn't we use one of those Stream Decks or whatever they're called for the buttons?
You can, but those are also like really complicated and they're not as user-friendly as the iPad is. And again, I don't know. I'd have to do more research, too, on all the ins and outs of it, and like if you guys would be able to hear it if I play stuff, or if it would just make it to the recording. Again, like it's one of those things that has to happen. Like this has to be simplified eventually. It's just, I know the Puminati would call for my head if I got rid of all the buttons.
Yeah, that's one of the pillars of the MSPH podcast.
Yeah.
What if you switched to, since, the laptop is where the network issues are, just from it being old.
Yeah.
If you would switch to like your MacBook or a MacBook, would you be able to have a soundboard app that you could use then through the OBS system?
Maybe. Again, that's one of those things where, like, in the week since we've recorded, I basically had just enough time to slap a few Band-Aids on the setup we have going now just to get this done. But
I wasn't expecting you to know. If you had that answer, then you would have said that. I just was in case that was something that hadn't been thought of. I was trying to be helpful is what I'm trying to say.
No, I get what you're saying. We like all that stuff is, things that are being looked into.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
Why are you not in the new studio?
So my mom was supposed to get into town today. So she flew into San Diego over the weekend, stayed with my aunt and uncle down there. And my stepdad and his sister drove across country from New Jersey to see her daughter, my stepdad's niece, who lives, near San Diego. So the plans, nothing was like really set in concrete when they got here. So my mom called me yesterday morning and was like, hey, can I come a day early? And just with all the moving stuff and, MSPH stuff, I just haven't had a chance to clear enough space in there yet to set everything up. And since I did a whole bunch of audio tests out here, I didn't want to risk dismantling everything, setting it back up in there, and then, I don't know, having more issues.
All valid. All valid.
So next week,
I give you permission to continue recording from your kitchen this week.
This is a fucking full-on cheese jizzing right in my mouth, and I love it.
See, like, you guys don't want us to lose that, do you?
That's an integral part of our podcast. I can't go.
Stora
con patata.
It's an integral part of our brand, Geoff. Like, it's...
I know.
We
Me
have
not
to...
being able to say things right or saying things just inadvertently perverted.
Yeah, like this.
I'll shampoo my ball sack every now and then. I'll shampoo my ball sack every now and then. I'm a simple person. What the fuck? What the fuck do I know? I do shampoo my ball sack every now and then.
And then
Say it once every couple weeks.
Sometimes a little bit of conditioner to get the knots out.
Yeah. Strengthen the roots.
My fucking ball sack hair could be in a Pantene commercial.
You damn right. You damn right.
So, Geoff, what happened with your adventures, your East Coast adventures?
Well, it had a lot of potential, and it still was a good weekend. But there was some issues, some really Kevin Kraft calamities that
I hate those.
sprung up and sprung up,
especially when calamity is spelled with a K. They're real bad.
But yeah. I went to Saratoga this past weekend. For those of you that don't know or don't remember me talking about it, partially for my grandmother's memorial. She had been dead since January, the early part of January. But because my mom, like my family who would be at the memorial service, so that did go, is spread out across the country. It was tough to get us together. And we picked this past weekend because my mom was born on August 3rd. My uncle was born on August 9th, and my grandmother was her birthday was August 10th. So it was like a birthday / like memorial service, like several three birthday celebration memorial service, kind of all packaged into one.
Was it a memorial service, or was it more like a celebration of life? Was it a traditional memorial service, like a funeral, or was it just like everybody getting together and hanging out?
Both. We met at the Albany cemetery, where her ashes are going to be put in the ground next to her mom and in our family plot, in her family plot. And then it was kind of a celebration of her life, and we celebrated by doing exactly what she would have done, which is eat and gamble. And we did
copious
copious
amounts of cocaine.
Yeah, we did a lot of both.
Do you have a plot in that cemetery? Is there a spot for Geoff?
No, but there possibly will be. I don't know. I kind of want to go in the Saratoga Cemetery, but I was born in Schenectady, which is the capital region. I don't know. I haven't decided yet where I want to be buried.
So yeah, I was
I'm
gonna
hoping
say.
not to worry about it.
So does that mean you're planning on moving back to upstate New York, or at some point is your body gonna have to be shipped across the country, Geoff?
Oh, I'm getting shipped, baby. I mean, if I want to say if I want to say like if my dream comes true, I guess I would have some sort of property in upstate New York, but it's getting harder and harder to buy property, and where I want it would be pretty expensive, which is Saratoga.
You know what you could do? You could preemptively reach out to David Rush and Hollywood Hannon and be like, hey, you guys can be my pallbearers and take my casket from Long Beach to Schenectady on foot and get a whole nother Guinness World Record for longest pallbearer haul.
Yeah. Fastest pallbearer across the country.
On foot.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, my grandmother was cremated. Her ashes had to be put into the urn, and because I am her favorite grandkid, I stepped up and I did it. And it was one of the more nerve-wracking things I've done, maybe perhaps ever. Perhaps ever.
Wait a sec. I don't mean to be insensitive, but you nuked your grandma?
No. He had to. If I'm understanding this correctly,
I lit her
Geoff,
body on fire, collected the ashes, and then put them in the urn. No. They were given
She came in from the funeral home in a nice, probably velvety sack.
No, it wasn't nice. It was a plastic bag.
We talking about Geoff's shampoo habits again?
So when Sharon's mom passed away and they cremated her last year, she was in a plastic bag inside of a nice velvet sack. So that's the only reason. But Geoff took the ashes
like Crown Royal.
Yeah, basically, but it was black. It was black. It wasn't purple. So you just dumped is such a
no man.
It's such a fucking heartless way to say it, but he transferred her from the plastic bag into the urn. Fucking
God damn it! I think you just got me to do my first ever MSPH spit take. God damn it!
You didn't have to clean it up. This is MSPH. We just let it fly around here. Yeah, I did dump her remains in the urn. That's pretty much what had happened. It came in a nice black box.
Okay, so you had a black box instead of a black velvet bag.
Yeah, and then the plastic trash bag with their remains inside the black box.
It was like a heavy duty plastic bag, right? Like it was like a thicker mill.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, no one wanted to do it, obviously, and I stepped up to the plate and did it, and only got a little bit of my grandmother on me, so it wasn't that. I'm just kidding. I got all of the ashes into the urn, thank God.
Well, I mean, I know. In all seriousness, I know that you and your grandma were very close, so that probably was not an easy thing to step up to do.
No. Yeah, my grandma's my favorite person, really. Most of my personality comes from her, and we pretty much like the same exact shit. Like she would have been she'd be my number one homie if she was still around.
So she was a fan of wet melons also.
Well, all right. But we had most of the similar interests.
We're subscribed to the same subreddits.
Like, Graham, what are you doing watching Gamer Girl? Yeah, but no, I mean, we both fucking love gambling, love eating, love the Yankees. Well, I mean, she likes all New York sports, but especially the Yankees. And she had season tickets to the Saratoga racetrack for the summer. every year. And she went every Sunday, definitely, and some other days as well.
Oh, dang.
Now, were those transferable? And did they go to a family member, or when she passed, they went back into the pool?
They went back. They went back in the pool, but I'm pretty sure anyone. Like, it's not like the New York Giants season tickets that have like a wait list, or like the Lakers that have a wait list. Like, Saratoga is very popular, but mostly people don't buy season long packages. It's mostly tourists coming up for the weekend or something.
I also didn't know that you needed to pay admission to get into a horse track. I thought you just could walk in and your gambling was your entrance fee.
No, no. Growing up, it used to be like $3. And I remember getting the $5, and then it was $8.70 for the two tickets that I bought. My mom tried to do a good thing and buy tickets for the group, the 10 of us that went to the Airbnb, or that went to the memorial service, met up and stayed at the Airbnb. But she ended up getting fucking swindled because she went to some shitty website. She still got tickets, but so she bought tickets for $38 per ticket from this website called Ticket Center. And she sends me a copy of the digital seats or whatever, the digital ticket. And I'm like looking at, and she also sent me the receipt. My Ticket Center, it's like, I've heard of StubHub, I've heard of SeatGeek, I've heard of Ticketmaster, I've never heard of Ticket Center. Like, what the fuck is that? And I went to the website, and it was just a third-party website that buys tickets from Ticketmaster and then flips them. And she can only get 8 tickets, and there's 10 of us, and that's because they weren't Ticketmaster. I went to Ticketmaster, and you could buy 50 tickets. So I was like, that was suspicious. And then it was also suspicious that she got general admission. Like, there's no seats and it's $38. And growing up, going to the track, I don't know how you buy $38 tickets without seats. Like, I don't know what the fuck that is. And she should have known better.
She called you. So. She's like, "Hey, son, I got us mosh pit seats for the racetrack." "Oh, Mom, that's not a real thing."
Yeah, that pretty much works. Yeah, even with the even with the impression. But so Friday Friday was the memorial service, and it fucking rained all day Friday, and the memorial service was only 15 minutes long, and it pretty much stopped raining for those 15 minutes, which was pretty sick. Yeah, like, it was pouring beforehand, and it started pouring as we left the funeral.
And that was the hurricane related, right?
Yeah, and it affects Saturday at Saratoga as well, and Friday for sure, but we weren't going Friday. But yeah,
didn't it also affect your Sunday and Monday?
I don't think so. So we're recording late this week because my flight back Sunday, I wanted to save this towards the end, but whatever. My flight back Sunday got canceled by Southwest. And I don't think it was weather related. I got on the phone with them, and they had said it had been canceled for a while, but the automated email that was supposed to go out just didn't go out. So we didn't find out until until we tried to check in. We couldn't check into the flight, and I'm going to call them and go, "What's up?" Like, "Oh yeah, this has been canceled." Like, "What? Well, why didn't you reach out to us?" Like, "Well, I don't know. We were supposed to." I was like, "What the fuck?" And then the best they could do.
We can get into. I just thought it was hurricane. I just had assumed that it was because of the massive amount of cancellations that everything just got snowballed. So we can talk about it later. That's the only reason I asked. I wasn't trying to goad us into that conversation this early. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I mean, since it was already brought up, we can just continue to talk about it. So, yeah, that's how I dealt with. That's how my Saturday morning. Actually, that was the second terrible thing that happened on Saturday morning. But Yeah, it was fucking whack, dude. So the best we could do, we were supposed to fly out Sunday. They had no other like flights, and we have to take connecting flights to get from Albany to Long Beach. They had no other flight options Sunday, so the best they could do was I guess it would be a two layover flight from Albany to Long Beach. We went from Albany to Baltimore, Baltimore to Nashville, then Nashville to Long Beach.
Oh,
And we got off the plane each time. Like there wasn't the same plane there.
how long was each layover?
Only like an hour. Like we pretty much walked to the other gate and only had to wait a few. Like we were able to go to the bathroom, but only had to wait a few minutes.
In all honesty,
And
that's kind of. I mean, I know that's horrible, but like, that's probably the best way that horrible thing could have played out. Because any shorter than that, and you risk missing it, and any longer than that, and you're just spending so much time just sitting around in an airport.
Like those people that were flying from Puerto Rico to Miami and got diverted to the Bahamas or to Barbados, and none of them had passports on them, so they couldn't leave the gate, but they got kicked off the plane and left there for like 12 hours.
That's that Tom Hanks movie, right? The Terminal.
No, this just happened. Delta just did this like last week.
that's brutal. Yeah, no, to your point though, yeah, besides the annoyance of having to get off of the flight two different occasions, like everything else kind of went smooth, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for a fuck up like that, everybody who had tickets on that Southwest flight should get like a free round trip first class. But I'm sure they're just like, here's a single peanut, split it amongst all 80 of you.
They offered us $100 voucher, which just isn't good enough. So we're gonna
$100 voucher.
Scumbags.
Yeah.
These airlines are such fucking scumbags. They're trying to be like, oh, inflation. It's like, no. Record profits. Fuck you guys. Eat shit. You're scum.
Yeah, so we have to fill out a form through Southwest, giving them the receipts of the rental car that we had to get for an extra day, the hotel that we had to book for an extra day. Well, for one day, we went from the Airbnb to the hotel. And also like part of the argument or part of the case that we're making for getting fully comped tickets, return flight tickets, is like we all had to miss work on Monday. It's like, like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like you're costing us money. Like you're kind of spit roasting us here.
Yeah.
So that was fucking lame. But it was nice to stay in Saratoga and hang out. But an extra day, I got to meet up with my buddy and his wife and see their new home up in my hometown around Boston Lake, whatever. And what else did we do that Monday? Went out to this barbecue spot in Saratoga, which is fucking bomb, and just kind of hung out a little bit. And my brother and his girlfriend shopped around Saratoga. I hung out on my computer in a coffee shop. But yeah, Friday after the memorial service, I went to a restaurant where my grandmother had a retirement party. And it was like mostly bar food. It was a pretty good menu, but it was really close to the funeral home, or cemetery. And then that Friday night, we ended up going out in Saratoga. The 10 of us, it was me, my girlfriend, my brother, his girlfriend, Cheech, my uncle, his girlfriend, my mom, her boyfriend, and my uncle's son, Tommy, who is a fucking madman. This kid he's 16. He's fucking awesome, but he is a handful. He's a fucking handful. And we ended up going to this southern food restaurant Friday night before going out in Saratoga. This place called Hattie's, which was fucking bomb. But Friday, after we get home from the restaurant for lunch, in between before going out to Saratoga, it's fucking pouring, and me and my uncle are just chilling on the porch of the Airbnb, smoking a cigar, drinking some wine, and this fucking his son like leaves the house like 3 different times, to like go for a drive.
Oh, I know what that means.
I actually, so this kid's 16. He's turned 17 in November. He already has his license. He already has a big ass pickup truck, a Ford, I think it's a Ford 150 Ram. And
that's that's 2 different truck companies combined into one name. Is it a
Dodge Ford
F-150 or is it a Ram?
I think it's an F-150. Thank you. Thanks for helping me with that one. So he's already got a newish car, nice pickup truck. And he drove from Connecticut to the Airbnb by himself because he had to leave early Sunday Saturday after the track to get back to Connecticut because he's going to Aruba with his buddies. And this kid just like, he lives like a fucking sick life because,
oh my God,
my uncle and aunt are pretty well off. All of his fucking friends are even are even richer. Like they live in like a nice part of Connecticut.
Like he's like a YouTuber who like started playing with Roblox or something when he was 10, and now he's like giant. So now he's like 16, playing with Roblox on the internet, and he's driving around like a new truck and jet setting to Aruba with his homies on a Roblox plane.
No, it's just his parents are rich.
Old school. I like it.
Yeah. And he gets a little bit of money because he's a sponsored snowboarder by Monster. Like he went out and
you've talked about him before, right?
His brother is also a snowboarder for. He was for Team USA. He's trying to make the Olympics, but he's his younger brother.
Gotcha. Well,
older brother.
You should show him the video of me and Shuddy at American Dream and see if he wants to get us on the team after you're hitting those sick rails.
But yeah, his older brother is trying to make the Olympics. I think it's Milan, the Italy Olympics for the Winter Olympics for Team USA snowboarding. So he couldn't even come to the service because he was traveling around doing some sort of, I don't know. He had to do some sort of snowboarding thing, which kind of sucks, but whatever. This fucking kid, like he just lives a sick life, and like I don't know, like his father, like he tried to like asked for money for something from his father, and his father, my uncle, like turned him down. He's like, all right, whatever, I'll buy it myself. And it's like, what? How the fuck? How are you paying for something? He's like, oh well, Monster gave me money. I was like, Monster Energy drink? Yeah, if I do well in snowboarding contests, they give me money. It's like, so wait, you're a sponsored snowboarder? Like, what the fuck? But we're hanging out in the rain. This kid leaves the house like 3 times. One time he comes back with this big ass American flag that he wants to fucking mount to his truck. And he's got, I don't know where he gets this from because his uncle or his father, my uncle, is like pretty big liberal, but he's got a mullet and a fucking pickup truck, and he wants to mount the U.S. flag to the pickup truck like a goddamn hillbilly. Like no one knows where this energy comes from. No one can get it.
It comes from Monster. Monster Energy.
Yeah, right.
The internet.
Probably TikTok. He leaves the house again for like literally like 5-10 minutes, and maybe he did some sort of smoking, but he didn't come back high. I was like, where the hell did you go? He's like, oh, I went to rip up the road. It's just like, all right, kid, whatever.
Just off being gnarly.
Yeah, and it's funny because like he does really well. I think he does pretty well in school. Like he's a sick baseball player. Like honestly, might be an Olympic snowboarder. So like my uncle and aunt do a good job, but this motherfucker is wild. Like he is a madman, and I don't know. Like they are very, very chill with the parental guidance. obviously they allowed him just to they gave him his own car, allowed him to drive whenever. And like, he breaks all kind of traffic laws, like all kind of driving laws. Like, apparently you're not supposed to drive with anyone in your car, like in your passenger seat when you're 16 or past 9 o'clock. And he's just outwardly not following those laws.
Yeah, they got kind of strict with that stuff after we got our licenses.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's just not even like bullshitting. Like, he just honestly, like, yeah, no, I don't listen to them. I don't care about that. It's just like, what the fuck, kid? But yeah, no, the kid's a trip. So we're out Friday night, and like, he's straight up like taking, like, if my uncle goes to the bathroom, his alcoholic beverage is gone. Like, it's gone. And if he turns his head, he takes it and like takes a sip.
He's like
fuckers.
Spalding in Caddyshack.
Yeah, like he's like sneaking off, or not sneaking off, but like fucking shotgunning White Claws while we're at our Airbnb, like by himself in the basement. Like, this kid's an absolute maniac.
Yeah, snowboarders party.
What's up?
Snowboarders party.
Yeah, and then this rich little fucker parties too. And he gave me like a Kevin Kraft like response where he was just like, I'm down. Like, I'm down. Like if one of my friends dares me to do something or asks me to do it, I'm gonna do it. Just like that is. Please don't say that. Please don't say that. Like, what the fuck, kid? But he's actually like, he's just fucking cool. Like, he's fucking cool, much cooler than I was at that age. I'll tell you that. We went out drinking Friday night. Went out to Saratoga, and we got him into one of the bars. And me and him were doing some shots, and I bought him some drinks. And kid's 16. He has his brother's fake ID, but we didn't have to use it. And after the restaurant, this is actually funny, but after the restaurant, I went to Ben and Jerry's, and fucking Cheech accidentally shoplifted a t-shirt. This motherfucker, he buys an ice cream and a t-shirt. He's holding the t-shirt in his hand, and they charge him $20 for the ice cream. And my mom was standing behind him, but he thought it was for the ice cream and the shirt, even though obviously $20 like wouldn't cover something like that. And it turns out that he bought him and my mom ice cream, and they didn't see the shirt. So like, he just walked out with the shirt and effectively stole the shirt.
Nice.
Unknowingly. Yeah. So
Way
that was
to
a come up.
fucking narc on him on the internet. Ben and Jerry's is going to come after Cheech now.
Well, I don't know.
That's
We'll cross that bridge
fault.
when we get to it. Yeah, for just dry snitching. How dare I? But the Airbnb was fucking sick. There were, I think, 5 bedrooms or 4 bedrooms and like a big basement with like a game room. My little cousin stayed there. All the couples had their own bedroom. There was a pool, a fire pit. It was fucking sick. And we were hanging out at the fire pit on Friday night. And everyone else went to bed. Me and my cousin are up just talking shit, just talking about like his crazy antics in school. And he's all like, he's 16. He's all like, so do you think like me and my girlfriend are going to remain together when I go to college? And I'm just like, no, I don't. Like, no. I'm like, it's like, you're going to go through a lot of different relationships and shit, kid. And college is going to be a hell of an experience for you. And it's tough. Like, it's really tough to be in a relationship. Like, you got to work at it if you wanted to succeed. And you're going to get to college and realize that it's probably not worth the work for a long distance relationship. And he's just like, all right, that's cool. that was the end of the conversation. He's like, yeah, that's cool. That makes sense. It's like, all right, cool, Tommy. All right, we got that one out of the way. But afterwards, that's kind of where it starts to turn, at least with the Airbnb. And then my flight troubles came in the next morning. So in the middle of the night, After the storm had passed, the fucking power went out. And I felt the power go out immediately because the fan stops. And I'm like, oh, I will wake up like as soon as the fan stops and realize that the fucking power is out. And I have to kind of wait for my aunt or my uncle's girlfriend to wake up in the next morning because she has the contact. She booked the Airbnb and she has the contact, and she had to like hit up the owner of the house and like, I don't know, ask him stuff or like try to get him to call the electric company to like work on it. And mind you, we're out in the middle of nowhere in a town next to Saratoga. Like, I don't even know how many houses are in this fucking area. So we were without power from like 4:30 to maybe 9:30 the next day, 10. And it fucking sucked, dude. It fucking sucked. It put us behind the eight ball on everything. The water heater shit the bed because the power went off and that had to be reset, and we didn't even know that. So it was ice cold showers for everyone.
Oh, I had that happen somewhat recently at the old place. So I want to see if my tactic for handling that was similar to yours. I started running the water, and then I would like, I kind of just like stood near it and like splashed myself from the other side of the shower and just got myself like, you know, all wet and shiny. And then I grabbed some body soap, lathered up my hands, and I like rubbed my pits and, you know, my butt crack and my Johnson. And then I stuck my head in real quick and wet my hair, and then I lathered my hair up. So now I'm just like completely soapy and lathered. And then I just jumped in the shower real quick and like speed washed all it off and then hopped out and dried off because it was so fucking cold.
I couldn't do it. My fucking lady.
You just went stinky?
No. So we went to breakfast and we came back and
you went to a diner like, hey, you guys got a shower in the back?
No, we went to breakfast and we came back and the hot water heater started working again. And I was able to sneak in a hot shower before going to the track that day.
Oh, there you go.
But I tried to get in the cold water because my girlfriend did it. She got her hair under the water and actually like fucking showered in the cold water like a goddamn Viking. I couldn't believe it, dude.
Well, she is kind of Viking-ish.
Yeah. She is a tough woman, a tough broad. But like my brother Bill was like talking shit. Like, yeah, dude, I love cold showers. I'm down. Like, no, dude,
not that cold. That cold.
No, not that cold. Dude, it was the coldest possible temperature of non-frozen water. It was fucking brutal. I stood in the shower and tried, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't get under the water. So I just applied some deodorant and went to breakfast and hoped that the hot water heater, we'd get hot water when we returned, and we did. So that was good. And then we went to the racetrack that day for the day, and that was pretty good. I hit my first race. I hit maybe one other race, but between
a trifecta or an exacta?
I just a horse, just a win.
Oh shit.
But I hit two of like the 5 races I bet, but with like food and booze and tickets, I ended up losing like $20, which is fine.
That's not a bad day at the track.
No, I mean, food was kind of food's expensive, booze is expensive. So essentially all you're trying to do for the most part is break even or have a similar day that I did.
Yeah.
My mom's boyfriend ended up making like $150. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like your mom's boyfriend. I've only met him like once, but he's a pretty cool dude.
Yeah, he's chill as fuck.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend actually made money, I think, but she was betting like $1, $2 a race. So I think she walked out with like $7.
She went to the wuss bet window.
Yeah, well, you can just bet through the app. So she didn't even her and my mom's boyfriend just did that, and like they just bet from their seats. But I like going up to the window, and like I like that whole experience. That's fun for me. So I went to the window, even though I could have just did the app. And then that night, my uncle decided to make food for us for all 10 of us. And my uncle's he's currently a wine salesman, but he used to be a chef in like New York City restaurants. He owned his own restaurant in Connecticut for years before just getting out of the restaurant business because it's fucking next to impossible to make money doing that. And he was able to do it for a while, but it's like he said when we were hanging out, shooting the shit and talking about it, it's a young man's game. Like it's so in the summer, if it's 90 out, it's 120 in the fucking kitchen, right? Like you have to, it's a tough job to do for an aging man. So he sold the restaurant and got into wine sales. But he made us like a pasta dinner with salad and meatballs and sausage, and it was fucking awesome,
Hey, give me an extra spicy meatball.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, another note that I have here. We went to this Italian bakery, which was right near the funeral or the cemetery, called Bella Napoli. I've been going there since I was a kid. And one of the boxes of pastries that we got 2 boxes. One of the boxes of pastries got ruined by ants. So that was a bummer. But they didn't affect the cannolis. I still got to eat my peanut butter chocolate cannoli. Dude, this place makes a chocolate cannoli with peanut butter cannoli filling. Fuck. Is it delicious?
Bonerific.
Yeah, dude, it's so bomb. So fucking bomb. You like those rainbow cookies, right?
Oh yeah, the real like Italian ones.
Yeah, they got the rainbow cookies. I mean,
God, those are the fucking
everything
best.
there is just fucking epic, dude. They got black and white cookies and then black and white chocolate cookies. So, but unfortunately, lost half of the baked goods due to an ant infestation in the Airbnb.
If ants get on there, that's just another protein.
Yeah, sure. It sucks because there were so many issues with the Airbnb that sprung up, but it was such a nice fucking home, and it should have been like an epic, or not an epic, but an awesome B&B experience, and it ended up having a mixed bag, we'll say.
Yeah,
but overall, it was fucking sick, and I want to make this a yearly trip. I want to go to Saratoga every summer. So we'll see if I can do it again next year, but it was fucking awesome. Oh, and then Thursday night, we flew in late Thursday night, but me and my brother had a $200 Chinese order waiting for us when we got to the Airbnb.
A succulent Chinese meal?
Yeah, we got it from this place that we used to eat at growing up called China Wang, and I would suck me 20 China Wangs. This fucking place
that is one of the best names I've ever heard for a Chinese food restaurant.
Yeah, dude.
Let's go eat some China Wang.
You just can't get Chinese food like that out here, and it's weird and it bums me out.
Nowhere close. There is no skeezy hole in the wall Chinese food in LA. It's Panda Express or it's like the authentic stuff.
Like I woke up in the middle of the night and ate one of the leftover egg rolls while it was cold, and I just like ate it in bed by myself. And
God.
It was fucking wonderful.
I could just picture Geoff waking up at like 3 a.m. and like sleepwalking to the fridge, be like, oh, cold egg roll.
So good. Yeah, put a little duck sauce on that motherfucker. They don't even have duck sauce here. I don't know. Like the Asian food out here is probably better than New York. Chinese isn't one of them. It pisses me off.
The authentic Chinese food is really good, but like takeout Chinese, East Coast takeout Chinese does not exist out here.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's really
I don't
weird.
want the authentic stuff. Like, I want my shit jacked up on MSG. That's what I want.
Yeah, the stuff that never existed in China, like General Cho's chicken or whatever. Supposedly like invented by some like white lady in San Francisco or some shit.
Yeah, General Tso's, yeah. But yeah, fucking awesome Saratoga trip. Hopefully I can do it again next year. And
Nice.
man, I love Saratoga. It was good, and it's good hanging out with my family, my lady, and everything went well in terms of the hangout. The Airbnb had its downsides, but it should have been awesome because the house is just fucking beautiful.
Well, one thing that didn't go to plan is the life of a man we've all come to love who became an integral part of MSPH somewhat recently, I guess in the past couple of years, and perhaps one of the best internet clips ever. Like, that might be a topic for another day where we do a bracket of the best clips from the internet, but I feel like the old ones, the OG clips that went viral the earliest, nothing has really topped any of those since. Of course, we're talking about Jack Carlson, the Australian man who was somehow got arrested live on the news and gave us such drops as...
This is the bloke who got me on the penis, people.
Penis people.
Get your hand off my penis!
I think the passing of Succulent Chinese Meal Man has provided me with the most interaction with the Puminati in a very long time. Like, I sent that information to you Wednesday night as soon as I saw it. And then from that point all the way through the weekend, I was just getting messages about it left and right.
Yeah.
Same here, dude.
This really sent shockwaves through the Puminati nation. And
the
rightly
great
so.
unifier, even. The great unifier.
I mean, that was one of those things where it was just pondered over, and podcasts just sort of found their way across that clip. Like, I mean, we've known about this clip for, a long ass time, but like every now and then it would resurface because some, comedian who has a big podcast would stumble upon it and be like, hey, did you guys see this Australian guy getting arrested? And then they would play it and it would resurface and go viral all over again. Like, that's how you know a clip is truly Hall of Fame. Like, clips go viral on the internet daily, but a very select few go viral multiple times across the years. And, there were all these rumors about why this guy was getting arrested, and some people were saying it was like a case of mistaken identity. He was mistaken for a human trafficker. Some people were saying he was known for doing dine and dashes, and the police finally got him. And then, his behavior, he says a lot of silly things like this.
Are you waiting to receive my limp penis?
And, like, there were some people saying that he was just saying the craziest shit that came to mind, so when he went to court, he could plead insanity. And then eventually people started tracking him down and doing these follow-up interviews years later, and he, that clip was old, and he aged quite a bit, and I think he even did some press somewhat recently. And I remember seeing it, and I was like, whoa, man, he looks rough. And yeah, he has since passed away since we last convened for MSPH. He was 82. I'm guessing he lived a hard life. Anybody who has shit like that...
How dare get your hands off me.
So...
strikes me as a guy who parties. He probably lived a hard
82
years.
The video is from 1991.
Oh, that I did not know. And he was a little old in that clip.
Well, I mean, if he's 82 now, he was in his early 50s. He was at like the Wilford Brimley line.
Oh, wow. That Wilford Brimley line was a motherfucker back in the 90s, huh?
Yeah. But it didn't get uploaded to the internet until 2009. So it had been up there even a while before it came across our radar. But he was arrested for credit. It was a credit card fraud arrest. And he was, at the time, a serial prison escapee.
Of course he was.
That's like a cool thing to be known for.
He was like the Australian Creed from The Office.
Prisons can't contain this guy. That is like a cool reputation, resume bullet point.
And his identity was only discovered in 2020 when the Australian punk band The Chats had him in a music video for their song Dine and Dash that recreated the viral video.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Well, Jack Carlson, R.I.P., and the only way to properly honor a man like that is to play that glorious, glorious clip in its entirety and just enjoy the magic. I mean, to be able to fire that off, like, you couldn't lock me in a room with piles of, like, weed and gallons of coffee, let me out a week later, and I would never be able to come up with something as funny as this guy just riffed over the course of 60 seconds. Just a brilliant comedic mind.
Jack Carlson isn't even his real name.
Is it Democracy Manifest?
No, it is Cecil George Edwards.
Instinctual Motivation? Actually, I like this guy way more as a Cecil.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Cecil fits better.
It really does. All right, here is Succulent Chinese Meal Man.
But you just assured me that I could speak.
Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? Now, get your hands off there. Ta-ta and farewell. One cup, look. They even broke.
He's still going as they shut the door and drive off. This guy's still fucking riffing. Like, the ta-ta and farewell as his head just disappears and it's shoved into the squad car is just, I don't know. That's sometimes the best comedy cannot be planned or scripted. Holy shit. Oh, and there he is in this punk video. Oof, that bottom row of teeth has seen better days. Yikes. Poor Cecil. Ah, yes. I see you know your judo well.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Well, at least he was honored by that Australian punk band, and his memory will be.
How did they
lived.
find him though?
That's a good
Because
question.
up until that point, his identity was not known on the internet.
I wonder if he's just one of those guys that, like, you know, perhaps he's an old school dude, a bit of a Luddite, and, like, never even knew that he went viral until one day maybe someone recognized him and was like, hey, dude, do you know you're, like, all over the fucking internet? Like, when you went insane while being arrested that one time, started screaming about your limp penis?
Unlike that Australian that has gone viral since the last time we spoke.
Oh, my God. Oh, my... you could only be speaking of Raygun.
Yes. It has been just almost a full week of that woman getting cooked alive on the internet.
Yeah, and we talked about it last week when we were doing our little Olympic recap, and you were like, yeah, breakdancing is coming this weekend. And it was so hectic, I didn't really get a chance to really lock down and try and hunt it down. But boy, did I see the clips of Raygun, and it
was incredible. Friday, they started hitting the internet after the women's round robin. And it was all these, like, why is breakdancing in the Olympics kind of comments. And then Saturday, the videos that were going up on Twitter of the men were like night and day. It was like night and day. I feel like if I tried breakdancing, that's what it would look like.
Yeah, that's what I said to Carl because she hadn't seen it, but I was like, this is one of the greatest things that it's like that's a Hall of Fame Olympic moment right there, like a brand new addition. So I got like I don't even know where to start with this. Like all I was thinking was like this seems like a Danny McBride moment from Eastbound and Down or something. Like it seems like a troll job. Like somebody qualified for the Olympics and then just got out there and just took a shit in their own hand and smashed it in their face and then laid on the ground and did the Three Stooges whoop, 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 while like spinning in circles. And then like I've seen stuff and I don't know. I'm not saying this is 100% verified or true, but I saw quotes attributed to this woman, Raygun, saying that all these people train their lives to get into the Olympics. I trained for 37 minutes and look at me now. I don't know if that is 100% true quote or not, but apparently
It looks accurate.
I don't believe so because
I did see that she's like a breakdance instructor, right?
So she's a college professor.
But psychology, nothing to do with breakdancing.
No.
African American studies. African Australian studies.
Rachel Dolezal.
Not going to lie, it's pretty close to that. She has a PhD. I'm trying to figure out what the actual title of her PhD, but it is basically a PhD in Black culture.
The culture, as I would call it.
Yikes.
Cultural studies, and she her thesis was there's so much in it stuff to weed through when it comes to Raygun on the internet within the last couple of last
I know
week.
it's so tough because like I even tried to find a clip on YouTube to show Carl, and I don't know how these motherfuckers beat the algorithm, but anytime something big like that happens, the top like 12 pages of YouTube results are nothing but like AI compiled stills and like a robot voice talking about it. And since YouTube did away with like downvotes, you can't publicly see downvotes anymore. You don't know until the video starts playing. They all disable the comments. You're like, oh, I just got fooled by another fucking clickbait thing. But you know what this reminded me of? Do you guys remember in like the later seasons of The Office when that guy Nate was working in the warehouse? He was like Dwight's homie, really weird guy. I think he like picked him up as a day laborer from Home Depot. I guess not. But he was not an actor. And he got popular because his buddies dared him that he couldn't get himself booked on morning talk shows. So he sent out like feeler emails to all these bookers and said that he is a yo-yo enthusiast and a yo-yo expert, and he goes around to schools and does motivational speeches with his yo-yoing. So he got himself booked on live morning TV shows and went in, and they would interview him, and then they'd be like, and we see you've prepared a demonstration for us. And he would take a yo-yo out, and he didn't know how to yo-yo. So he would just throw it down, it would stop, and then he would like get frustrated and whip it around and be like, ah, ah. And he just did that. He trolled all of these places, and I think his first ever acting role was that character on The Office. And it almost seemed like this lady somehow trolled the Olympics and got to represent Australia in female breakdancing, and essentially looked like if one of the three of us just was like dared to breakdance at a party after having 12 beers.
Well, so she's a lecturer about breakdancing. Her thesis for her PhD, I scrolled down from the title. Let me find it. Hold on. It's crazy.
So she can understand breakdancing, she just can't speak it.
Yeah, her thesis was called "Deterritorializing Gender in Cindy's." Sorry, this is fucking word salad. Hold on. Deteriorizing gender in Sydney's breakdancing scene, a B girl's experience of B-boying.
Yeah, you weren't kidding about that whole word salad thing. Jesus.
Deteriorizing gender in Sydney's breakdancing scene, a B girl's experience of B-boying.
B-boing.
And she said that she trained 12 hours a week.
Oh, okay. So that quote of her going viral is false.
But what either happened is either A, nobody else was interested in representing Australia in breakdancing, or B, they saw her resume and they're like, she's got to have this. But I saw clips of her dancing at the closing ceremonies with the rest of the Australian team, and it was better than her breakdancing.
I gotta know. Like, one day the truth will come out, and I just can't wait. Like, just the fact that she like almost did like what are those dance movies? Step Up or Step It Up?
Yeah.
She was like, she like got in her competitor's face and was like, what you got, huh? What you got? And then just shit her pants. Like, that was so
you
epic.
think she just struggled under the bright lights under the Olympic coverage?
It's hard to think that that's what happened because she had so much fucking confidence through the whole thing. Is that her?
That's her.
Man, that's like my mom after she has 2 Red Bull and vodkas.
Yeah, she's not that good.
No, she's not. But that's better than what was on the the stage in front of it. Yeah.
It certainly got those white people excited.
Those Aussies. It's definitely like a white person's approximation of what they think breakdancing is.
Yeah. I mean, I used to film videos like that and put them up on Instagram, and it was pretty much essentially what that woman did at the Olympics.
The woman who won the gold medal was a Lithuanian in a do-rag.
I would not want to challenge a Lithuanian to breakdancing. I don't know why.
I think it was Lithuanian. Hold on. Women's
I thought it was a Japanese woman.
Well, Ray Gun got a 0.0, which is just fucking hysterical.
You're right. It was the Japanese girl that won the gold. But
is that the first 0 in a judged Olympic event ever? Does anyone know that trend?
No, I think there was some guy in like a diving competition who. There might have been 2. I think somebody like belly flopped out of their spin and got a 0, and then someone's feet hit the diving board when they were doing flips, and I think that got them a 0.
So the silver medalist was a Lithuanian wearing a do-rag.
Still sounds pretty cool. I mean, I am not one of those people, obviously, that is bummed out that breakdancing is in the Olympics. I think breakdancing is cool as fuck to watch. Like, I've seen, Be Real puts on his Instagram a lot of breakdancing clips, and some of the shit people do is just, I don't, like if badminton is in the fucking Olympics, then breakdancing can be in the Olympics. It's sick. It's so fucking good. Man, that's a pretty sick look, I'm not gonna lie, of that, wait, Olympic breaking cringy moves, white girls do-rag, raise eyebrows? That's the caption for that picture?
Yeah, there was a lot of... That's the only reason it came across my radar is people on Twitter were freaking out about her wearing a do-rag.
Oh, no. Well, I'm not freaking out about that. I say congrats.
I'm going to come to the next podcast possibly wearing a do-rag.
Check it out, guys. I've been practicing 12 hours a day. Hit me.
No, it's okay. My mom's boyfriend said it's cool.
Yeah, he said I have permission to say that word now. But man, that was holy shit. I mean, I had to hunt down clips, so I did see clips of the good people breakdancing, and I'm grateful for that. And boy, I'm so grateful for Ray Gun as well. What an
But
Olympics.
I don't think it's going to be in the LA Olympics.
Yeah, Ray Gun ruined it for everyone, huh? We're not flying these fucking retards out to LA.
I mean,
So
I had so much fun watching the Olympics this year. I'm almost second guessing my plans to escape Los Angeles for a couple of weeks when the Olympics come here in 2028, and maybe trying to get some tickets to go.
well, just Kevin, since you went in 1996, maybe you do leave LA for the Olympics and you go to Oklahoma City, which is going to host the return of baseball to the Olympiad. And you can go to some Olympic baseball games again.
No, been there, done that. I don't need to see it.
Wait,
Unless-
the LA Olympics has a baseball tournament in Oklahoma? Is that what you're saying?
Lacrosse, cricket, baseball, and softball are all going to be played in Oklahoma City.
That is so weird.
That will be brutally hot. Brutally hot.
I mean,
dude.
Who knows? Maybe in the next 4 years we can petition to have armpit farting be an Olympic sport, and I can compete.
I like how everyone in LA just collectively understands the Olympics is going to be a nightmare for us.
Yeah. It's a nightmare on any given day of the week, and now you want to have the world come and flood it. That's going to be bad.
Dude, did you know did you guys see the Olympic closing ceremony?
I did, but I didn't see the whole thing. I watched some of the more like theatrical Cirque du Soleil looking shit, which was fucking cool. Carl and I we turned on Peacock and it said closing ceremonies now. And we were like, oh man, it's over. So we just like put it on and we were both just like, whoa, that is trippy. We didn't get to see Tom Cruise.
Did you see like the closing performances from the LA artists?
Nope. I didn't see Snoop. I didn't see the Chili Peppers.
Dr. Dre, Billie Eilish. Dude, that was at Rosie's Dog Beach in Long Beach. Like it's like a 3-minute walk from Bill's apartment and a 15-minute walk from my apartment. That's what they had Boston Terrier Day. That little mama didn't even want to go to. But it was fucking right there. I could have just walked and saw that if Southwest didn't butt fuck me.
Oh man.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking lame.
As a Long Beach resident, you could have gone and see Snoop perform the closing Olympics.
Yeah, Dre, I love the Red Hot Chili, fucking love the Red Hot Chili Peppers. That would have been fucking sick, dude. So lame.
Damn. Fuckers at Southwest.
Yeah.
Man,
but whatever.
I went to Shuddy. I know you're not really on social media that often, so I don't think you ever see my stories and stuff, but I went to a metal show over the weekend that so there's this band that I really like. They're not a very big metal band, but they're called Noisem, and they're, really, really fast, extreme metal. I've been a fan for a while, but right when I discovered them, they pretty much went on hiatus. They sort of stopped posting on social media. No new music came out, and I was always like, man, I fucking love these guys. I'd love to see them live. And then out of nowhere, their social media became active again. They announced they were doing like a few dates. I saw there was LA, and apparently, since they're such a I guess an virtually unknown band, all of their shows were squatter shows. So they were basically just playing abandoned warehouses and stuff. And the LA show, I had to DM them to get the address. Because again, it's a squatter show and they couldn't put it public or else they would run the risk of getting shut down. So I go to this place. It's like near Skid Row. I go in and it kind of looked like a place where somebody would OD in the movie Trainspotting What's up, Geoff?
What's the name of the band again? I'm sorry.
Noisem. So it's basically just
Noisem.
noise with an M at the end of it.
I'm gonna look up some of their hits.
So
Man, look at this cover art.
which I don't even know which one you're looking at, but
I just googled it and a Bandcamp.
oh,
Bandcamp is a legit site, Geoff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I go in and there's some like young guy on stage with a guitar, and it's just like all this noise and feedback and distortion, and I'm like, oh man, they must be having audio problems. And I start listening a little bit closer, and it sounds like there's a helicopter taking off. It's just like just like steady. And then I look up, and this guy is just like all over the neck of the guitar, like strumming like crazy, and he's yelling into the microphone, but I don't think his microphone was turned on. And the guitar, I don't know if it wasn't plugged in properly, if it wasn't turned up, but it was just noise. Like literally noise. There's no drummer, there's no bassist, solo guy on stage. And then he would like play for 30 seconds and immediately like drop to his knees and start messing with the cables and the pedal. And like the four people in the room looked around and they were like, so people didn't know if he was having technical difficulties or if he was just done with his next short song. And I was just like, what did I just get myself into? What the fuck is happening? Like
That
This
sounds
Australian
like you
breakdancing of
saw a noise, just straight up noise performer open. I've gone to a couple of shows that have had some noise bands on the bill, and I've been stood there completely baffled, just like you.
everybody was baffled. People didn't know
I
if
have
they were
seen that before. Yeah, it's
like they like people are like, I guess we clap. But it was literally like slow claps, like this. It wasn't like one person clapping. I was just like, oh my God. So I see people walking in with like balloons, and I'm like, oh, all right, I know what that means. So I follow this like shitty hallway, and I go out into this like fenced off little section of alley, and lo and behold, guy selling nitrous. And there are people like triple fisting balloons, like a balloon hanging out of their mouth, a balloon in each hand. And I'm like, man, people are fucking really raging for an underground metal show. So I'm just sitting there, like I went by myself, and there's like a handful of people outside smoking cigarettes, and people are drinking beers. And I'm just like looking at my phone, and I'm texting Carl, and I'm like, you have no idea what I just got myself into. And I start hearing like splashing noises, and I'm like, I recognize that sound. I look down, and there's some like young dude sitting on his ass with his knees up, with his like arms resting on it, just puking between his legs, just like buckets of puke. And then he just like looks down, and he takes his finger and he starts drawing in it. And I was like, oh God, oh my God, I've made a serious mistake. I have made a mistake. So I go back inside, and I started hearing music. And then there's like an actual band playing, like full on, like guitarist, bassist, drummer, singer, and they're all like in like, you know, leather jackets, covered in studs, mohawks, chains, and I'm like, all right, this is the vibe I was looking for here. And they start playing, and holy shit, Shuddy, fucking epic. They were so fucking good, and they're like punk metal. So I have a feeling you would really enjoy these guys. They're called Ancient Rage. They're from Oakland, and they fucking shredded. I was like, man, this is perfect. Like this setting, like in like a train spotting OD room, squatter room. These guys, like they had a bottle of whiskey on stage. The guitarist is just like shredding these gnarly solos, and he's leaning back, and the singer's pouring whiskey in his mouth, and then people in the audience, they're like passing the whiskey bottle around. It was like as perfectly scuzzy as I wanted it to be. I don't think they have any music on Apple Music yet, but I think they have an EP on Spotify, and then they've got like their first album coming out soon. But holy shit, Shuddy, you got to look into these guys. They were dope. I don't know, like I I talked about it, a while ago when it happened, but Carl and I went to see this band Ghoul play, and it was kind of a similar setting because it was like a residential neighborhood, and they were just playing in this like backyard on a stage, and I was like, man, this is kind of what I've always wanted, like seeing a metal show with like a smaller crowd, and everybody's just like sneaking in beers and chugging them, and the mosh pit is just a fucking dirt pit. I was like, this is raw, rugged shit. I'm like, I like this way better than a big venue.
I just added them since it's only Tuesday. I just added them to this week's Wax of the Week, Kevin.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think you're going to like these dudes. They're sick.
Fucking 5 songs, 12 minutes. Hell yes. Give it to me.
Yeah. I mean,
the Cease to Exist album?
No, that's Noisem.
Ancient Rage.
But Noisem, I mean, I'm kind of just blowing smoke up Ancient Rage's ass just because they came out of nowhere and my jaw hit the floor. But Noisem was fucking sick as well. And it like, while it was like kind of fun going to a show like that, it is kind of like a bummer that this band is so talented and their music is so good, but they're so unknown that they have to play squatter shows. But
I mean, was it a squatter show? Because here's a flyer for it posted on July 31st on their Facebook page.
Yeah. I mean, they were promoting it and they had flyers, but they didn't publicly make the addresses known. You had to like reach out to the band for it.
Oh, it says Town Square.
Yeah, I was trying to not say that, but...
Oh, but it's on the flyer, though.
I know.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, it's a squatter show. I'm trying to be as vague as possible, Shuddy.
Okay.
I'll text you.
I'm confused why you're being vague, though, and they aren't being vague because it's literally on their Facebook page.
I mean, they're gone. Like, they already did the tour. It's not like they're going to get retroactively in trouble for doing it. But I guess I will say this. I think that is a place where bands kind of do pop up and play there. Because I mentioned it to somebody, and they were like, yeah, I've actually heard about people going to shows there. But, man, that was epic. And I had to pass that on to you, Shuddy, because I thought you would appreciate this like punk. I think they bill themselves as rock and roll street metal. And I was like, while I was watching the show, I was just like, yes, I have never heard a band more perfectly categorize themselves than rock and roll street metal.
So I feel about Caius, who does desert stoner metal, or did desert stoner metal.
I know Caius.
Yeah, fucking band kicks ass. Well, kicked ass. They haven't made new music in, I don't know, 20, 30 years.
Yeah. But I will say I am kind of lucky to have survived that experience afterwards, because when I left the venue, it was in a really, really rough part of town. So like downtown has its very sketchy areas, downtown LA, and it is kind of near Skid Row. And I think the closer you get to Skid Row, the more shut down things are. And I was kind of just thinking I'll either find street parking or I'll just park in a garage. And all the street parking near that place was taken. I found a couple parking garages on like Google Maps, drove to them, and they were like gated up and shut down. And I was like, oh shit. So I was kind of just driving around aimlessly. I found some street of like just run down buildings, like abandoned buildings, and there was street parking. So I parked, and I'm like, all right, I'm like 4 blocks from the venue. And as I start walking to the venue, I saw, I had to walk past a homeless encampment, and I saw an actual crack cocaine addicted sex worker get into a car, and I was like, oh, all right, that's a thing.
How do you know she was addicted to crack cocaine?
There were some telltale signs, Geoff.
Okay.
So I was like, oh man, this is not going to be fun when I'm walking back through here in 4 hours, when it gets 4 hours later into the night. And I was right. Right when I got past where like there were actual tenants in buildings, like people were like swarming me and asking for money. And I was like, oh, I don't carry cash, man. And then one guy was like, right on.
Swarming?
He was like, I get you. But good luck getting to where you're going. And I was like, oh man. And then I keep walking, and I get to another homeless encampment, and people are taking like giant rips off of crack pipes, and I'm just like, oh God, don't notice me. Then I start seeing people like slinking in the distance, almost like all approaching me from all directions, like shuffling.
It's like zombies?
Yes.
It's like Walking Dead?
Yeah, they were walking like zombies, and I was like, oh my God. Then I see like some woman washing herself off in a broken fire hydrant, and I'm just like, the second they see me, it's all over. And I like double pace, and like I'm like all like sweaty because that place was hot as fuck. So my hair's all matted. I'm wearing a metal shirt. My tattoos are showing. So my only way to like try to protect myself, I guess, was to like go to animal instincts. So I walked the rest of the way. I was like, I have to walk faster, but I don't want to look like I'm panicking, because then people are going to see me and be like, get him. So I went like this. I put my arms out, and I walk like this back to my car. I was like this. And I tried to just walk like a tough guy, but it was like my wuss interpretation of what like a tough guy would walk like. So I probably just looked insane, which also may have worked in my benefit.
It's like a gay actor trying to play a tough guy.
Yeah. I probably looked ridiculous, but people probably saw me and they're like, all right, it's a guy walking through this area. He's sweaty. He's wearing a metal shirt. He's got lots of tattoos. He probably doesn't have anything worth taking. We'll just leave that guy alone.
But he's walking around like he's he's high. Maybe he's got some drugs on him.
Yeah. But the second I saw my car like in the horizon, I started running. I was like, I can make it. I can sprint. And if anybody starts chasing me, I think I'll get in the car and be able to lock it in time and get away. And then I texted Carl because I was like, you really liked that ghoul show. You thought that was cool. This is kind of going to be the similar vibe. You might enjoy it. You might enjoy just the weirdness of it. And then I texted her when I got in the car, and I'm like, you are very lucky you did not come with me, because you would have been terrified on that walk.
There's a chance you're very lucky she didn't go with you.
Oh my God, I know.
Be looking for another apartment. Mom, you can't visit, actually.
Yeah. Whew, man. That was an exciting. And that'll make you feel alive. It's been a very long time since I feared for my life, so I feel like it's good to taste a little bit of danger every now and then. It keeps you on your toes, you know? Well, we've reached that time once again, fellers.
Have we already?
We have. Time flies when you're having fun, man. But hey, if you're listening to the audio version of this, get another little bonus 15 minutes in the Easter egg after the end theme. So be sure to check that out.
Or subscribe to the Patreon, where you get another whole episode. And this week, Shetty Boy's fucking nose dips its toes into some controversial waters.
Yeah, Shetty Boy is going to fight through the stroke he's apparently having and deliver us some crazy fucking news.
I was hoping that if I just fought through that, nobody would notice.
Nope. Kevin's not going to let that go unchecked. We're going to have a pretty big crafter, Geoff, this week. There's a 2-episode, 2-hour, two-parter Master Chef this week.
No way. Oh, that's good news for my mom.
There might be several 2-parters, so they can get it done not too far
that makes sense.
Not too far into NFL or football season.
Yeah, they do usually do that every season towards the end, but these fucking slackers have taken so many weeks off now that they're probably going to have to double bag it for the rest of the season. But we'll see.
Yep.
I'm very excited to have Crafter Geoff Shuddy edition back with a vengeance. Got a new Kevin's Nerd Hole posting Wednesday morning. That's a fun one. But yeah, patreon.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour. It is your Puminati potpourri of madness. Endless content. And you get to keep this ship afloat. You get to support the homies. So, win-win-win. That's the way I see it. And you can also check out youtube.com/Mad Scientist Party Hour if you would like a visual element to your whole experience. And again, I promoted it last week, but if you're interested for a limited time before it goes away forever, you can check out patreon.com/Movie Night with Kevin. Sign up for $2.50, and you can just binge the fuck out of every episode I did before shuttering that whole experiment. You know, you can just listen to all episodes in 1 month, if need be. It's the bargain of the century, folks. That's what Time Magazine is calling it.
Yeah, it's only half a cup of coffee, too.
Yeah, look at that. Also, for even cheaper than $2.50, you can listen to Outkick Bets with Jeff Clark.
Yeah, coming back Thursday to do AFC win total preview. And then next week will be the NFC win totals. I'm also going to be on Two Clouded Minds next week. I guess I could probably just shout that out again next week, but I was supposed to be on this week, but my travel situation fucked that all up. But I'm going to do an NFL 2024 season preview with those guys. Shuddy's future victim. So check that out.
Are you sure it's next week and not the week after?
I'm pretty sure it's next week.
Okay, because I'm going to be on next week or the week after.
Okay. All right. Well, either way, Outkick Bets is coming out with a new episode Thursday, so check that out.
Yep. And you can also follow us on Instagram at Kevin Kraft.
At Shuddy Boy.
Jeffro Records.
And at MSPH Podcast. And at John Cooper Movie. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for the support, as always. And until next time, something.